the master silk weaver, guardian of imperial threads, ancient China. 618 AD. Picture yourself walking through Master Li Wei's silk workshop in the Tang Dynasty capital of Chang'an, where morning mist rises from steaming dye vats, while delicate hands guide precious silkworm cocoons through the ancient transformation that creates threads worthy of imperial robes. The workshop hums with quiet activity as apprentices tend to thousands of silkworms whose patient labor will become the foundation of China's most treasured export. The silk workshop occupies a sprawling compound near the imperial palace, where generations of the Li family have served as silk suppliers to emperors and noble families throughout the Middle Kingdom. Master Li Wei represents the 7th generation of silk artisans in his lineage, carrying forward secrets of production that transform humble mulberry leaves into lustrous threads valued more highly than silver throughout the known world. Young apprentice Chen Ming watches nervously as his master examines cocoons with the practiced eye of decades spent understanding the subtle variations that determine silk quality. Each cocoon represents weeks of careful cultivation as silkworms consume specially prepared mulberry leaves while growing through their metamorphosis toward the moment when their protective shells can be harvested for human use. Silk teaches us patience and harmony with nature, Li Wei explains softly. Selecting the finest cocoons for imperial commissions. We cannot force the silkworms to work faster or produce more than nature allows. Our role is to provide optimal conditions while respecting the natural rhythms that create this miraculous fiber through divine blessing. The current imperial commission requires producing silk suitable for the emperor's ceremonial robes, with standards so exacting that a single imperfection could result in rejection and potential punishment for failing to meet imperial expectations. Each thread must exhibit perfect uniformity and lustrous quality that reflects the Son of Heaven's divine mandate to rule all under heaven. Chen Ming learns that silk production begins months before actual weaving, with careful cultivation of mulberry trees whose leaves provide the only acceptable food for silk-producing caterpillars. The workshop maintains extensive mulberry groves where different varieties produce leaves with varying qualities that affect final silk characteristics and determine appropriate uses for different grades of thread. Silkworm cultivation requires precise temperature and humidity control throughout the caterpillar's development cycle, with any deviation from optimal conditions resulting in inferior cocoons unsuitable for high-quality silk production. The workshop employs specialized attendants whose sole responsibility involves monitoring environmental conditions while ensuring silkworm health and productivity. Cocoon harvesting demands perfect timing when silk content reaches maximum density, while maintaining the fiber quality necessary for producing threads with appropriate strength and luster. Chen Ming practices identification techniques that distinguish ready cocoons from those requiring additional development time, or those already past their optimal harvesting window. Silk extraction involves carefully unraveling cocoons in heated water that softens the natural adhesive binding silk fibers together while preserving thread integrity. Throughout the delicate unwinding process, this technique requires steady hands and patient attention as individual cocoons yield continuous threads sometimes exceeding 1,000 feet in length. Thread preparation includes cleaning, sorting, and grading processes that classify silk according to quality standards, determining appropriate uses from imperial garments through merchant clothing to utilitarian applications serving various social levels throughout Chinese society. Different thread grades command vastly different prices and serve distinct market segments. Dyeing procedures transform natural white silk into the brilliant colors required for imperial and noble garments, using pigments derived from rare minerals, exotic plants, and precious insects that create hues impossible to achieve through common materials. The workshop maintains closely guarded formulas for producing specific colors, reserved for imperial use. Imperial yellow represents the most restricted color reserved exclusively for the emperor's use and forbidden to all other subjects under penalty of death. The workshop produces this sacred hue through secret processes involving rare earth minerals and complex chemical treatments that create the distinctive golden color symbolizing imperial authority and divine blessing. Weaving techniques vary according to intended fabric uses, with different patterns and thread densities creating textiles ranging from gossamer thin, ceremonial silks, through heavy brocades suitable for formal court dress. Chen Ming studies various loom configurations while learning to execute increasingly complex weaving patterns that demonstrate advanced technical mastery. Pattern design incorporates symbolic elements that convey meaning through visual motifs, representing prosperity, longevity, imperial power, and spiritual protection. Dragons symbolize imperial authority, while phoenixes represent imperial consorts, with strict regulations governing which patterns may be used by various social ranks within the rigid hierarchy of Chinese court society. Quality control measures ensure that finished silk meets exacting standards through multiple inspection stages that identify and eliminate any flaws that could compromise imperial commissions. Master Li Wei personally examines every piece destined for court use, understanding that his family's reputation and continued imperial favor depend on maintaining absolute excellence. Trade relationships extend throughout Asia and beyond as Chinese silk becomes the foundation of international commerce that connects distant civilizations through shared appreciation for this uniquely Chinese product. The Silk Road derives its name from this precious commodity that justifies dangerous journeys across deserts and mountains toward distant markets. International demand for Chinese silk creates diplomatic opportunities as foreign courts seek access to superior textiles that demonstrate wealth and cultural sophistication, while establishing trade relationships that benefit both Chinese producers and foreign customers seeking luxury goods unavailable in their home regions. Seasonal production cycles coordinate silkworm cultivation with natural rhythms that optimize fiber production while ensuring adequate supplies for various market demands throughout the year. Spring hatching coincides with fresh mulberry leaf availability, while autumn harvesting provides materials for winter weaving activities during indoor working seasons. Workshop organization enables multiple production lines operating simultaneously, as different teams focus on various aspects of silk creation from silkworm care through final textile finishing. This specialization improves efficiency while maintaining quality standards that protect the workshop's reputation for excellence in serving imperial and commercial markets. Chen Ming's education encompasses not only technical skills, but also cultural knowledge about silk's role in Chinese civilization, diplomatic relations, and economic prosperity that makes the Middle Kingdom the envy of surrounding nations seeking access to Chinese technological achievements and luxury products. Apprenticeship traditions preserve silk production knowledge through hands-on training that cannot be transmitted through written instructions alone. Master Li Wei teaches both explicit techniques and subtle judgment skills that enable recognition of quality variations and optimal decision-making throughout complex production processes, requiring years to master fully. Imperial inspections verify workshop compliance with court standards, while ensuring that production capabilities meet imperial needs for ceremonial garments, diplomatic gifts, and trade goods that represent Chinese cultural achievements to foreign visitors and trading partners throughout the known world. Religious ceremonies bless silk production activities through Taoist rituals that honor the natural forces and spiritual essences that enable silkworm cultivation and thread creation. These observances recognize silk production as participation in cosmic harmony that connects human activity with natural cycles and divine blessing. Innovation within tradition allows gradual improvement of production techniques while maintaining essential characteristics that define Chinese silk as superior to inferior products from other regions attempting to duplicate. Chinese achievements through reverse engineering and imitation of superior Chinese methods and materials. Cultural preservation includes training foreign apprentices who will establish silk production in their home regions, while ensuring that core secrets remain within Chinese control to maintain competitive advantages that support imperial wealth and international influence throughout Asia and beyond. Economic planning coordinates production volumes with market demand while ensuring adequate supplies for imperial needs that take precedence over commercial sales to domestic and foreign customers. Imperial requirements must be satisfied first before any surplus silk becomes available for general trade and commercial transactions. Technological advancement includes experimentation with new dyeing techniques, weaving patterns, and finishing methods that might enhance silk quality, while reducing production costs and improving efficiency without compromising the superior standards that maintain Chinese dominance in international silk markets. As evening falls across China, Master Li Wei and Chen Ming reviewed the day's production while planning tomorrow's activities that will advance current projects toward completion deadlines for imperial and commercial commitments. Their partnership represents continuity of knowledge that has sustained Chinese silk supremacy for centuries. The workshop settles into peaceful quiet as silk production continues, its ancient rhythm that connects contemporary artisans with countless generations of predecessors who developed and refined the techniques that make Chinese silk the world's most prized textile. Tomorrow will bring new opportunities to serve imperial glory through dedicated craftsmanship. Let these images of patient silk production carry you toward peaceful rest, imagining the gentle sounds of weaving looms and the satisfaction of creating textiles that will grace imperial courts while representing Chinese cultural achievements to admiring civilizations throughout the known world. Sleep peacefully now, like silk artisans in workshops long ago, knowing that patient dedication to excellence and harmony with natural processes can create treasures that embody cultural wisdom while serving practical needs. Across vast distances and diverse cultures seeking Chinese luxury and sophistication, the master scribe, keeper of sacred hieroglyphs, ancient Egypt, 1479 BC. Picture yourself walking through the sacred halls of Karnak Temple, where master scribe Kamwaset carefully draws hieroglyphic inscriptions that will preserve divine words for eternity, while young apprentice Amenhotep mixes pigments from precious minerals that create colors bright enough to honor the gods and endure through countless seasons of flooding and drought along the eternal Nile. The scribe's workshop occupies chambers within the temple complex where sacred knowledge flows between human understanding and divine wisdom. Through careful preservation of religious texts, royal decrees, and administrative records that maintain order throughout the two lands under Pharaoh's divine authority as living God ruling Egypt, Master Kamwaset represents the culmination of Egyptian scribal tradition, having served 3 pharaohs through decades of faithful service, preserving and transmitting the sacred knowledge that maintains cosmic order and ensures Egypt's continued prosperity under divine protection. His skilled hands transform spoken words into eternal symbols that outlast mortal flesh. Amenhotep watches with reverent attention as his master selects the finest papyrus for royal inscriptions, understanding that each reed strip must meet exacting standards for smoothness and durability that will preserve sacred texts through centuries of temple service. The quality of writing materials reflects the importance of preserved content and respect for divine recipients. Writing is the voice of the gods made visible, Kamwaset explains, while demonstrating proper brush technique for creating hieroglyphic symbols. Each sign carries divine power that connects earthly scribes with heavenly wisdom. We serve as instruments through which eternal truth becomes accessible to mortal understanding while preserving divine knowledge. The current project involves creating a complete Book of the Dead for a wealthy noble who requires proper magical protection during his journey through the afterlife toward eternal reunion with the gods. Every hieroglyph must be perfectly formed and correctly placed to ensure the spells function properly in the divine realm. Amenhotep learns that Egyptian writing begins with understanding the spiritual significance underlying each symbol, as hieroglyphs represent not merely sounds or ideas, but actual divine forces that become active through proper inscription and pronunciation. Incorrect writing can neutralize magical effects or even create dangerous spiritual consequences. Papyrus preparation requires careful selection of river reeds and precise processing techniques that create smooth writing surfaces capable of accepting ink without bleeding or fading. The workshop maintains relationships with specialized papyrus makers who understand quality requirements for temple and royal commissions, demanding the finest materials. Ink preparation involves grinding mineral pigments with sacred water and binding agents that create permanent colors resistant to fading and moisture damage. Different colors carry symbolic meanings, with black representing fertility and resurrection, while red signifies power and protection, requiring precise formulation for appropriate magical effectiveness. Brushmaking utilizes red stems shaped into precise points that enable accurate hieroglyph formation while maintaining consistent line width throughout extended writing sessions. Amenhotep practices brush preparation and maintenance, while learning to recognize optimal writing tools for different types of inscription work and surface materials. Symbol formation follows established proportions and orientations that preserve the magical effectiveness built into hieroglyphic design through centuries of priestly refinement. Each symbol must conform to traditional standards while maintaining artistic beauty that honors divine recipients and demonstrates scribal skill and devotion. Religious knowledge encompasses understanding of mythological stories, divine relationships, and spiritual principles that inform proper interpretation and application of written texts, serving various ceremonial and magical purposes throughout Egyptian religious and administrative life. Administrative duties include recording temple inventories, royal decrees, tax assessments, and legal documents that maintain governmental efficiency, while preserving permanent records of important transactions and decisions affecting Egyptian society from the highest levels down to local administrative districts. Royal commissions represent the highest honor for scribal service, creating inscriptions for pharaonic monuments, tomb decorations, and ceremonial objects that will preserve royal achievements and divine status for eternity, while demonstrating Egyptian cultural sophistication to future generations and foreign visitors. Temple maintenance includes updating religious calendars, preserving ritual texts, and creating ceremonial inscriptions that ensure proper performance of daily offerings and seasonal festivals that maintain cosmic harmony and divine favor, protecting Egypt from foreign invasion and natural disasters. Hieratic script provides simplified writing for everyday administrative purposes while maintaining connection to sacred hieroglyphic tradition through abbreviated forms that enable efficient record-keeping without abandoning the spiritual foundations underlying all Egyptian writing systems. Mathematical calculations support architectural projects, astronomical observations, and agricultural planning that require precise numerical records, preserved through written documentation, enabling coordination of complex projects involving thousands of workers across multiple construction seasons. Medical texts preserve healing knowledge through careful transcription of diagnostic procedures, pharmaceutical formulas, and surgical techniques that enable Egyptian physicians to maintain health throughout the population while advancing medical understanding through documented case studies and treatment outcomes. Legal documentation includes contracts, property transfers, and court decisions that provide permanent records of important transactions while establishing precedents for future legal decisions and maintaining social order through written law that supplements royal authority, and traditional customs. Educational materials transmit cultural knowledge to future generations through carefully preserved texts containing historical records, moral instructions, and technical information that enables Egyptian civilization to maintain continuity and advancement through systematic knowledge preservation and transmission. International correspondence maintains diplomatic relationships with foreign rulers through formal letters and treaty documents that preserve evidence of agreements while demonstrating Egyptian cultural superiority and political sophistication to neighboring civilizations seeking Egyptian alliance and trade relationships. Artistic collaboration with temple decorators ensures that hieroglyphic inscriptions integrate harmoniously with sculptural and painted elements, creating unified sacred environments that enhance religious experience while demonstrating Egyptian artistic achievements to worshippers and visitors from throughout the ancient world. Quality assurance includes multiple reviews of important inscriptions to verify accuracy and completeness while ensuring that magical and religious texts contain no errors that could compromise their spiritual effectiveness or bring divine displeasure upon scribes, sponsors, or the Egyptian people generally. Professional training follows established apprenticeship patterns that gradually increase responsibility, while building both technical skills and cultural knowledge necessary for independent scribal practice serving various sectors of Egyptian society, from local administration through royal court service and temple priesthood. Workshop organization enables multiple projects to proceed simultaneously, while maintaining quality standards and meeting deadlines for urgent commissions from royal court, temple authorities, and wealthy private clients seeking various types of written materials for business, religious, or personal purposes. Seasonal activities adapt to natural cycles affecting working conditions and material availability, while coordinating with religious calendar requirements that influence temple commissions and ceremonial inscription needs throughout the Egyptian year of festivals and agricultural celebrations. Cultural preservation includes maintaining traditional scribal techniques, while carefully evaluating innovations that might improve efficiency or quality without compromising the spiritual foundations and magical effectiveness that make Egyptian writing superior to foreign systems lacking divine inspiration and eternal significance. Legacy planning ensures continuity of scribal knowledge through training of successors, while preserving workshop libraries containing reference materials and technique manuals that will guide future scribes in maintaining Egyptian writing traditions and serving continued cultural advancement. Amenhotep's development reflects both natural aptitude and dedicated practice under Master Kamwaset's patient guidance, progressing from basic symbol formation through complex text composition toward eventual mastery of the complete scribal curriculum, including religious, administrative, and artistic applications. International recognition of Egyptian scribal excellence creates opportunities for cultural exchange, while maintaining Egyptian superiority in writing technology and knowledge preservation that attracts foreign students seeking advanced education, unavailable in their home regions, lacking sophisticated writing systems. Economic considerations balance scribal service costs with social benefits while ensuring adequate compensation for skilled practitioners whose education and expertise represent substantial investments in human capital that benefit Egyptian society through efficient administration and cultural advancement. Spiritual dimensions of scribal work connect daily practice with cosmic principles that view writing as participation in divine creation and maintenance of universal order through human cooperation with eternal wisdom and truth that transcends mortal limitations and temporal concerns. As sunset paints the Nile golden, Master Kamwaset and Amenhotep complete their daily offerings to Thoth, god of writing and wisdom, while preparing workshop materials for tomorrow's continuation of sacred work that preserves divine knowledge for human benefit and eternal glory. The workshop rests in peaceful quiet as night settles over Thebes, while written texts await completion that will carry Egyptian wisdom through centuries of human history, toward distant future generations who will marvel at achievements of this greatest of ancient civilizations. Let these images of sacred writing carry you toward peaceful rest, imagining the careful formation of eternal hieroglyphs and the satisfaction of preserving divine wisdom through human skill that connects earthly scribes with heavenly knowledge across vast expanses of time. Sleep peacefully now, like scribes in ancient temples, knowing that patient dedication to preserving knowledge and serving divine purposes can create written treasures that outlast kingdoms while transmitting wisdom to countless future generations seeking understanding and truth. The master shipwright, builder of longships, Viking Age Norway, 793 AD. Picture yourself standing on the windswept shores of Trondheim Fjord, where master shipwright Bjorn Ironson shapes dragon-headed longships from towering pine trees, while salt spray carries the promise of distant raids and trading. Voyages that will establish Norse dominance across the northern seas, from Iceland to Constantinople. The shipyard stretches along the rocky coastline where generations of Norse craftsmen have built the vessels that carry Viking warriors and merchants across dangerous waters toward unknown lands filled with treasure and opportunity for those brave enough to challenge the sea's fury with superior seamanship and vessel design. Master Bjorn represents the finest tradition of Norse shipbuilding, combining ancient techniques passed down through family lines with innovations that create faster, stronger longships capable of carrying crews safely through Atlantic storms, while remaining light enough for overland portage between river systems during inland campaigns. Young apprentice Eric Olafsson observes every detail of construction while learning to read wood grain patterns that determine timber suitability for specific ship components. His strong back and willing hands already show the calluses of dedicated labor, while his sharp mind absorbs the accumulated wisdom that makes Norse ships superior to all foreign vessels. The sea tests every joint in timber, Bjorn explains, while selecting curved, naturally grown oak pieces for the ship's ribs. A longship must flex with the waves, rather than fighting them, bending without breaking through countless storms that would destroy rigid vessels built by inferior foreign shipwrights who lack understanding of the sea's true nature. The current project involves building a warship for Jarl Magnus, who plans to lead raids along the English coast where monastery treasures await Norse warriors bold enough to face Saxon resistance, while demonstrating Viking prowess in battle and seamanship that has made Norse longships feared throughout the Christian world. Eric learns that Viking shipbuilding begins with forest expeditions that identify trees with optimal growth patterns for specific ship components, as naturally curved timber provides superior strength compared to artificially bent wood that might fail under stress during ocean voyages or beach landings in hostile territory. Timber selection requires understanding of different wood species and their characteristics that determine appropriate uses throughout ship construction. Oak provides strength for frames and keels, while pine offers flexibility for planking that must withstand constant movement and stress during ocean voyages across unpredictable northern waters. Seasoning processes prepare freshly cut timber through careful drying that prevents splitting and warping while maintaining structural integrity necessary for vessels that must remain seaworthy through years of demanding use in harsh maritime environments that test every aspect of construction quality and material durability. Keel laying represents the ceremonial beginning of ship construction, when the massive central timber receives placement with religious rituals that invoke divine protection for vessel and crew, while ensuring favorable winds and successful voyages through proper observance of traditional customs honoring the sea gods. Frame construction creates the skeleton that gives longships their distinctive shallow draft design, enabling navigation in rivers and coastal waters inaccessible to deeper vessels while maintaining seaworthiness necessary for ocean crossings toward distant lands, offering trading opportunities and raiding targets. Planking techniques utilize overlapping construction methods that create strong, flexible hulls, capable of withstanding severe stress, while remaining light enough for portage over land, between waterways during campaign seasons, when armies must move rapidly across diverse terrain toward strategic objectives. Caulking fills gaps between planks, using natural materials that create watertight seals, while allowing necessary flexibility during vessel operation in heavy seas that would stress rigid construction. Beyond breaking point and threaten crew survival during extended voyages far from friendly shores. Ironwork provides the metal reinforcements and hardware necessary for securing rigging while creating weapons, mountings, and defensive equipment that enable longships to serve dual purposes as both transportation and fighting platforms during raids and sea battles against foreign vessels and coastal defenses. Rigging installation transforms completed hulls into functional sailing vessels through careful placement of masts, yards, and cordage that enable efficient use of wind power while providing backup rowing capability when weather conditions prevent. Effective sailing or tactical situations require precise maneuvering. Dragonhead carvings serve both practical and spiritual purposes as navigational aids and protective symbols that ward off sea monsters while identifying vessels too. Distant observers who can recognize specific ships and crews through distinctive artistic elements that reflect builder skill and owner status. Testing procedures verify seaworthiness through careful trials in protected waters before vessels receive approval for ocean voyages that will stake crew lives on construction quality and design effectiveness during encounters with storms, enemy, action, and navigational challenges that test every aspect of ship performance. Regional variations in shipbuilding techniques reflect different maritime conditions and intended uses as builders adapt basic longship design principles to local requirements for coastal fishing, river transport, ocean raiding, or trading voyages that demand specific performance characteristics. Raid preparations include modifications for military use, such as weapon storage, shield mounting systems, and crew accommodations that enable extended campaigns while maintaining fighting effectiveness during surprise attacks on unprepared targets throughout the Norse sphere of influence. Trading configurations optimize cargo capacity while maintaining defensive capabilities necessary for merchant voyages through potentially hostile waters where pirates and foreign navies threaten valuable cargo loads that justify dangerous journeys toward profitable distant markets. Guild traditions preserve shipbuilding knowledge while maintaining quality standards that protect Norse maritime superiority through standardized construction techniques and apprenticeship programs that ensure continued availability of skilled craftsmen for naval and commercial shipbuilding needs. Religious observances honor the sea gods and ancestral spirits that protect Norse mariners while blessing new vessels with appropriate ceremonies that ensure divine favor during dangerous voyages toward unknown destinations where supernatural as well as natural hazards threaten crew survival. Innovation drives continuous improvement in longship design through experimentation with hull configurations, rigging arrangements, and construction techniques that might enhance speed, cargo capacity, or seaworthiness while maintaining the essential characteristics that make Norse ships superior to foreign vessels. International influence spreads Norse shipbuilding techniques through conquest and trade relationships that expose foreign shipwrights to superior Norse methods while establishing shipyards in conquered territories that extend Norse maritime capabilities. Throughout expanding spheres of political and economic influence, seasonal construction cycles coordinate building activities with weather patterns and raid seasons that affect timber availability, working conditions, and completion deadlines for vessels needed for specific campaign requirements or trading expeditions. Scheduled according to optimal sailing conditions, Eric's education encompasses not only technical skills, but also seamanship, knowledge that enables understanding of how construction decisions affect vessel performance, during actual use in demanding maritime conditions that test both ship design and builder competence under real-world stress. Quality control measures ensure that completed vessels meet demanding Norse standards for strength, speed, and reliability through systematic inspection procedures that identify potential problems before ships enter service in conditions where failures could result in crew loss and mission failure. Economic planning balances construction costs against vessel earning potential through raiding, trading, or military service while ensuring that investment in superior ships generates adequate returns to justify continued commitment to expensive materials and skilled labor required for quality shipbuilding. Cultural significance extends beyond practical transportation, as longships represent Norse identity, technological achievement, and maritime dominance that enables expansion throughout the North Atlantic, while demonstrating cultural superiority to foreign civilizations. Lacking comparable naval capabilities, environmental adaptation includes design features that optimize performance in North Atlantic conditions while enabling operation in diverse maritime environments, from Arctic ice fields through temperate coastal waters to Mediterranean trading ports during extended voyages covering vast distances. As autumn storms begin lashing the Norwegian coast, Master Bjorn and Eric complete final preparations on vessels that will soon carry Norse crews toward distant shores where glory and treasure await those bold enough to challenge foreign powers while expanding Norse influence across the medieval world. The shipyard settles into winter, quiet as completed longships await spring sailing seasons, while new construction continues in workshops, protected from harsh weather that would interfere with delicate work requiring precise craftsmanship and careful attention to detail during extended building processes. Let these images of Norse shipbuilding carry you toward peaceful rest, imagining the rhythmic sounds of construction and the satisfaction of creating vessels that will carry Viking explorers across vast oceans toward unknown lands, offering adventure and opportunity for those brave enough to face the sea's challenges. Sleep peacefully now, like shipwrights in Norse yards long ago, knowing that superior craftsmanship and innovative design can create vessels that conquer distance and weather while enabling human expansion across seemingly impossible barriers toward new horizons and unlimited possibilities. The Master Goldsmith, forger of divine beauty, Inca Empire. Picture yourself high in the sacred city of Cusco, where Master Goldsmith Chuya Sumana shapes precious metals into offerings worthy of Inti, the sun god, while mountain mist carries the sound of silver hammers creating ritual objects that will honor the Sapa Inca and maintain cosmic harmony throughout Tawantinsuyu, the 4 regions of the world. The goldsmith workshop occupies terrace chambers within the Korakancia temple complex where sacred metals receive transformation through human skill, guided by divine inspiration, creating treasures that reflect the sun's golden light while demonstrating Inca mastery over earthly elements through spiritual knowledge and technical excellence. Master Chuya Sumana represents generations of goldsmith knowledge preserved within family lines that serve the imperial court through exclusive access to precious metals extracted from sacred mines throughout the Inca domain. His skilled hands transform raw gold and silver into ritual objects that connect earthly rulers with divine powers governing natural forces. Young apprentice Tupac Amaru watches reverently as his master examines gold nuggets from the Madre de Dios region, learning to recognize metal purity and working characteristics that determine suitability for various ceremonial purposes. Each piece of precious metal carries spiritual significance, requiring appropriate ritual treatment throughout processing. Gold is the sweat of the sun, silver the tears of the moon, Chuya Sumana explains, while heating precious metal over sacred fires. We serve as instruments through which divine essence becomes manifest in earthly form, creating objects that enable communication between mortal rulers and immortal forces governing all creation throughout the 4 directions. The current imperial commission requires creating a golden disc representing Inti for the upcoming Inti Raymi ceremony, where the Sapa Inca will commune directly with his divine father while renewing the cosmic agreements that ensure continued prosperity and protection for the Inca people throughout their vast mountain empire. Tupac learns that Inca goldsmithing begins with spiritual purification rituals that prepare craftsmen to handle sacred materials while ensuring divine approval for transformation processes that must honor both technical excellence and religious requirements governing creation of objects serving ceremonial purposes. Gold extraction from sacred mines requires elaborate ceremonies that appease mountain spirits while ensuring continued productivity of precious metal sources that belong ultimately to the gods and are granted to the Sapa Inca for appropriate use in maintaining cosmic harmony and imperial authority. Metal purification removes base materials through heating and chemical processes that concentrate precious metal content while maintaining spiritual purity, necessary for objects that will contact divine essence during religious ceremonies, requiring absolute ceremonial cleanliness and spiritual appropriateness. Alloying techniques combine gold and silver in specific proportions that create working metals with desired characteristics for different ceremonial purposes, while maintaining symbolic meanings associated with solar and lunar influences, governing natural cycles and spiritual relationships. Hammering methods shape precious metals through careful application of force that gradually forms desired objects while maintaining material integrity, necessary for ceremonial use during religious activities that subject ritual objects to considerable handling and environmental stress. Repousse techniques create raised decorative elements through controlled deformation that produces intricate surface patterns representing religious symbols, natural forms, and geometric designs that carry spiritual meanings while demonstrating goldsmith's skill and artistic sensitivity. Annealing processes soften work-hardened metals through controlled heating that enables continued shaping while preventing cracking or other failures that could ruin valuable materials or create spiritually inappropriate objects unsuitable for ceremonial use in sacred contexts. Wax casting enables creation of complex, three-dimensional objects through sophisticated molding techniques that produce forms impossible to achieve through hammering alone while maintaining surface detail necessary for ritual objects requiring specific symbolic elements and artistic excellence. Surface finishing includes polishing and texturing treatments that create desired visual effects, while preparing objects for ceremonial use in sacred contexts, where appearance must reflect divine beauty and demonstrate human dedication to honoring supernatural powers through material excellence. Religious symbolism governs decorative elements that must conform to established iconographic traditions, while communicating specific spiritual meanings through visual motifs representing natural forces, divine entities, and cosmic relationships. Governing Inca understanding of universal structure and divine authority. Imperial regalia creation represents the highest level of goldsmith achievement, producing crowns, ceremonial weapons, and personal ornaments that demonstrate Sapa Inca divine status, while providing material symbols of authority that legitimize imperial rule throughout the extensive Inca territorial domain. Ritual vessel production includes cups, plates, and ceremonial containers that enable proper performance of religious ceremonies, requiring specific equipment designed for handling sacred substances while maintaining appropriate spiritual purity and ceremonial effectiveness during divine communication rituals. Temple decoration involves creating large-scale installations that transform sacred spaces into environments suitable for divine presence while demonstrating imperial wealth and spiritual devotion through precious metal applications that reflect divine light throughout ceremonial chambers. Astronomical instruments include golden representations of celestial bodies and seasonal markers that enable accurate calendar maintenance while providing physical objects for ritual use during ceremonies honoring solar, lunar, and stellar deities. governing agricultural cycles and religious observances. Funerary objects prepared deceased nobility for afterlife journeys through creation of grave goods that ensure appropriate spiritual protection, while demonstrating social status and religious devotion. Through precious metal objects that accompany souls toward divine destinations. Trade relationships enable acquisition of exotic materials from distant regions, while establishing diplomatic connections that extend Inca influence through exchange of precious objects that demonstrate imperial wealth and technological capabilities to foreign rulers and trading partners. Quality standards ensure that finished objects meet demanding imperial requirements through systematic inspection procedures that verify both technical excellence and spiritual appropriateness for ceremonial use in sacred contexts, where imperfection could compromise religious effectiveness. Workshop organization enables multiple projects to proceed simultaneously, while maintaining security necessary for handling precious materials and preserving goldsmith secrets that contribute to Inca technological superiority and ceremonial magnificence that impresses foreign visitors and subject populations. Apprenticeship training follows traditional patterns that preserve goldsmith knowledge, while building both technical skills and spiritual understanding, necessary for creating objects that serve dual purposes as artistic treasures and religious instruments, requiring appropriate ceremonial handling. Seasonal activities coordinate with religious calendar requirements that influence ceremonial object needs while adapting to weather conditions, affecting workshop operations and material availability throughout the Inca year of festivals and agricultural celebrations honoring various deities. Innovation within tradition allows gradual improvement of goldsmith techniques while maintaining essential characteristics that preserve spiritual effectiveness and ceremonial appropriateness of ritual objects. Serving established religious functions within conservative Inca religious traditions. Cultural preservation includes training selected foreign craftsmen who will establish goldsmith workshops in conquered territories while ensuring that core techniques remain under Inca control to maintain technological advantages that support imperial authority and cultural dominance. Economic planning coordinates precious metal allocation between imperial needs and trade requirements, while ensuring adequate supplies for ceremonial purposes that take precedence over commercial applications. Serving domestic markets and foreign trading relationships. As evening shadows lengthen across the sacred valley, Master Chuya Sumana and Tupac complete their daily offerings to the mountain spirits while securing precious materials against theft or spiritual contamination that could compromise future work serving imperial and religious purposes. The workshop rests in peaceful quiet as night settles over Cusco while golden objects await completion that will channel divine essence during upcoming ceremonies that maintain cosmic harmony and ensure continued prosperity throughout the vast Inca Empire. Let these images of sacred goldsmith work carry you toward peaceful rest, imagining the gentle sounds of precious metal shaping and the satisfaction of creating objects that bridge earthly skill with divine beauty through human dedication, serving supernatural purposes. Sleep peacefully now, like goldsmiths in mountain workshops long ago, knowing that patient dedication to excellence and spiritual devotion can transform simple metals into treasures that honor the gods, while demonstrating human capability to participate in divine creation. The Master Potter, shaper of sacred vessels, ancient Greece, 450 BC. Picture yourself walking through the Keramikos district of Athens, where Master Potter Aristophanes molds clay from the sacred Ilissos River into amphoras and craters that will grace symposiums and religious ceremonies, while the Athenian sun dries vessels destined to carry wine and olive oil throughout the Mediterranean world as symbols of Greek civilization and artistic excellence. The pottery workshop buzzes with activity as skilled craftsmen shape clay into functional art that serves both practical needs and aesthetic ideals, embodying Greek understanding of beauty, proportion, and harmony that distinguishes Hellenic culture from barbarian peoples lacking appreciation for artistic excellence and philosophical wisdom. Master Aristophanes represents the culmination of Greek ceramic tradition, combining technical mastery with artistic vision that creates vessels celebrating human achievement while honoring the gods through beautiful objects that enhance daily life with visual pleasure and symbolic meaning, reflecting Greek values and cultural sophistication. Young apprentice Nicomedes learns to center clay on spinning wheels while observing how proper technique enables creation of symmetrical vessels with walls of even thickness that will survive firing processes and years of use without cracking, or structural failure that would render pottery worthless for practical purposes. Clay remembers every touch, Aristophanes explains while demonstrating proper hand positions for shaping amphora necks. We must work with its nature rather than forcing it into unnatural forms that will fail during firing. The earth teaches patience while rewarding skill with vessels that combine beauty with utility. The current commission involves creating a complete symposium set for wealthy merchant Callias, who requires pottery worthy of entertaining important guests while displaying his prosperity and cultural refinement through ownership of superior ceramics that demonstrate appreciation for artistic excellence and social sophistication. Nicomedes learns that Greek pottery begins with careful clay selection and preparation that removes impurities while achieving optimal plasticity for wheel throwing and hand building techniques. Different clay sources produce vessels with varying characteristics that determine appropriate uses and market values throughout the Greek world. Wheel throwing requires coordination between hand movements and wheel speed that enables creation of symmetrical forms through practiced skill developed over years of training under master supervision. The potter's wheel represents Greek technological achievement that enables mass production while maintaining artistic quality. Clay preparation includes mixing different clay types with sand and organic materials that create working bodies with optimal characteristics for specific vessel types and firing temperatures. Each pottery form requires specific clay formulations that ensure successful completion through demanding ceramic processes. Forming techniques vary according to vessel types and intended uses, with drinking cups requiring different approaches than storage jars or ceremonial vessels. Nicomedes practices various methods while learning to recognize optimal clay conditions and appropriate tool applications for different pottery challenges. Surface decoration transforms functional vessels into artistic statements through painted designs that celebrate mythological themes, athletic achievements, and daily life scenes that reflect Greek cultural values while demonstrating painter skill and artistic sophistication that distinguishes Greek pottery from foreign ceramics. Firing procedures require careful temperature control and atmospheric management that ensure successful completion of ceramic processes while preventing losses that could ruin days or weeks of skilled labor invested in vessel creation. Keel operation represents crucial knowledge that determines pottery workshop success. Glazing techniques create surface finishes that enhance both appearance and functionality, while demonstrating technical mastery of complex chemical processes that transform clay surfaces through high-temperature reactions, producing colors and textures impossible to achieve through other methods. Quality assessment includes testing fired vessels for structural integrity, visual appeal, and functional effectiveness that ensure customer satisfaction while maintaining workshop reputation for excellence that attracts continued patronage from wealthy clients seeking superior pottery for various purposes. Market analysis guides production decisions about vessel types and decorative styles that will appeal to different customer segments while ensuring profitable operations through efficient use of materials and labor that maximize returns on investment in pottery workshop operations. Religious applications include creation of votive offerings and ceremonial vessels that serve temple needs while honoring various deities through appropriate symbolic decoration and functional design that enables proper ritual use during religious ceremonies and festival celebrations. Export trade carries Greek pottery throughout the Mediterranean, while establishing cultural connections that spread Hellenic artistic influence to foreign markets. Seeking superior ceramics that demonstrate appreciation for Greek aesthetic achievements and technological capabilities superior to local production methods. International recognition of Greek pottery excellence creates diplomatic opportunities as foreign rulers seek access to superior vessels that demonstrate wealth and cultural sophistication, while establishing trade relationships that benefit both Greek producers and foreign customers seeking luxury goods unavailable elsewhere. Artistic collaboration between potters and painters creates integrated production systems that combine technical excellence with visual beauty. Through coordinated efforts that produce vessels celebrating Greek mythological themes, historical events, and cultural values that define Hellenic civilization and distinguish it from barbarian societies. Cultural education includes mythological knowledge that informs decorative programs celebrating heroes, gods, and moral lessons that reinforce Greek values, while providing visual narratives that educate viewers about proper behavior and cultural ideals that maintain social harmony and cultural continuity. As evening shadows lengthen across the agora, Master Aristophanes and Nicomedes complete their daily work, while preparing clay for tomorrow's throwing session that will advance current commissions toward completion deadlines for symposium season. When wealthy Athenians entertain guests with elaborate dinner parties, the workshop settles into peaceful quiet as night falls over Athens, while pottery awaits firing that will transform clay vessels into permanent ceramics capable of preserving Greek wine and olive oil while carrying Hellenic artistic traditions throughout the Mediterranean world as symbols of cultural achievement. Let these images of classical pottery work carry you toward peaceful rest, imagining the spinning potter's wheel and the satisfaction of creating vessels that combine practical utility with artistic beauty, through skilled craftsmanship serving both material needs and cultural ideals. Sleep peacefully now, like potters in ancient workshops, knowing that patient skill and artistic vision can transform simple clay into beautiful objects that enhance daily life, while preserving cultural values for future generations to appreciate and continue. The master architect, builder of sacred pyramids, ancient Egypt, 2580 BC. Picture yourself standing in the shadow of the Great Pyramid at Giza, where master architect Hemunu directs thousands of workers in the monumental construction that will serve as eternal resting place for Pharaoh Khufu, while limestone blocks weighing 15 tons each rise toward the heavens through precise engineering that demonstrates Egyptian mastery over stone and mathematics. The construction site covers vast areas of the Giza Plateau, where quarries, ramps, and workshops support the greatest building project in human history. Teams of skilled stonemasons, engineers, and laborers work together under Hemunu's direction to create a monument that will endure for millennia, as testament to Egyptian civilization and divine kingship. Master Hemunu combines architectural knowledge inherited from earlier pyramid builders with mathematical innovations that enable construction of unprecedented scale and precision. His detailed plans coordinate every aspect of the massive project, while ensuring that the completed pyramid will align perfectly with celestial bodies governing Egyptian religious beliefs. Young assistant Keti studies construction drawings while learning to calculate angles and proportions that ensure structural stability and religious appropriateness. His understanding of mathematics and engineering principles develops through direct participation in solving practical problems that arise during construction of this unprecedented architectural achievement. We build for eternity, Hemunu explains while reviewing quarry reports. Every stone must be perfectly placed to support the weight above, while creating chambers that will protect Pharaoh's mummy throughout endless time. Our work ensures the king's successful journey to the afterlife, where he will intercede with the gods for Egypt's continued prosperity. The current construction phase involves installing massive granite blocks for the king's chamber, requiring precise lifting and positioning that tests every aspect of Egyptian engineering capability, while demonstrating mastery over natural forces. Through superior technological knowledge and organizational skill, Keti learns that pyramid construction begins years before actual building with careful site selection, astronomical observations, and mathematical calculations that establish exact dimensions and orientations required for religious effectiveness and structural stability throughout centuries of environmental stress. Quarry operations extract limestone from nearby deposits, while granite comes from distant Aswan quarries, requiring complex logistics that coordinate material production with construction schedules while ensuring adequate supplies of properly sized blocks. Throughout the extended building period, stone cutting techniques utilize copper tools and abrasive sand that enable precise shaping of massive blocks while maintaining dimensional accuracy, necessary for tight joints that will support enormous weight without settling or structural failure throughout the pyramid's eternal existence. Transportation methods move massive blocks from quarries to construction sites using sledges, rollers, and ramps that enable efficient movement of materials weighing many tons each. Teams of workers coordinate their efforts through rhythmic chants that synchronize pulling efforts while maintaining steady progress. Lifting systems raise blocks to considerable heights, using ramps and mechanical advantage devices that enable placement of heavy stones at precise locations throughout the rising structure. These engineering solutions demonstrate Egyptian technological sophistication and mathematical understanding. Precision measurement ensures exact placement of blocks according to architectural plans that must be followed precisely to achieve proper pyramid geometry and internal chamber configurations. Surveying instruments and geometric principles guide construction activities throughout the complex building process. Internal chambers require precise excavation and lining with fitted stone blocks that create burial chambers and passage systems, according to religious requirements, while maintaining structural integrity that supports massive pyramid weight pressing down from above. Astronomical alignment connects pyramid orientation with celestial movements that govern Egyptian religious calendar and ensure proper orientation for Pharaoh's spiritual journey through the afterlife toward reunion with solar deities governing cosmic order and natural cycles. Religious ceremonies bless construction activities while ensuring divine approval for the sacred project that must honor both architectural excellence and spiritual requirements, governing creation of eternal resting places for divine pharaohs ruling Egypt as living gods. Mathematical principles govern pyramid proportions and construction angles that reflect sacred geometry, encoding religious knowledge while ensuring structural stability and aesthetic perfection that demonstrates Egyptian cultural achievements and divine inspiration. Workforce organization coordinates diverse specialists, including stonemasons, surveyors, engineers, and laborers, through hierarchical management systems that enable efficient completion of complex tasks, requiring precise coordination and quality control throughout extended construction periods. Quality control includes systematic inspection of work at every stage to ensure compliance with architectural standards, while preventing errors that could compromise structural integrity or religious appropriateness of the eternal monument, serving as Pharaoh's gateway to divine immortality. Construction timeline coordinates various activities according to flood seasons and agricultural cycles that affect worker availability, while ensuring steady progress toward completion within reasonable timeframes. Despite the enormous scale and complexity of the unprecedented building project, material logistics include storage, protection, and distribution systems that manage vast quantities of stone, copper, tools, and supplies required throughout construction while preventing waste and ensuring adequate resources for project completion without interruption. Engineering innovations solve unprecedented challenges through creative applications of mechanical principles and organizational methods that enable successful completion of construction projects, exceeding all previous architectural achievements in scale, precision, and technical sophistication. Environmental considerations include drainage systems and foundation preparations that protect the monument from settlement and moisture damage while ensuring structural stability throughout millennia of environmental stress from temperature changes, occasional earthquakes, and other natural forces. Cultural preservation includes documentation of construction techniques and architectural knowledge that will inform future building projects while maintaining Egyptian technological superiority and enabling continued architectural advancement through accumulated experience and innovation. International recognition of Egyptian architectural achievement attracts foreign visitors and inspires imitation attempts that demonstrate Egyptian cultural influence while establishing trade relationships and diplomatic connections that benefit Egyptian economic and political interests. Legacy planning ensures preservation of architectural knowledge through training programs and documentation that will enable future architects to maintain and expand upon achievements represented by the Great Pyramid and other monumental construction projects throughout Egyptian history. Economic impact includes employment for thousands of workers and support industries, while demonstrating royal wealth and organizational capability that reinforces pharaonic authority and Egyptian cultural prestige throughout the ancient world, seeking technological advancement and architectural inspiration as the sun sets behind the completed portions of the Great Pyramid. Master Himunu and Keti review the day's progress while planning tomorrow's activities that will advance the monument toward completion as eternal testament to Egyptian civilization and divine kingship. The construction site settles into quiet rest as night falls over Giza, while the rising pyramid reaches toward stars that will guide Pharaoh's soul through the afterlife toward divine immortality among the gods who govern cosmic order and natural harmony. Let these images of monumental construction carry you toward peaceful rest. Imagining the organized activity of pyramid building and the satisfaction of creating architecture that will endure through millennia as testament to human capability and divine inspiration. Sleep peacefully now, like architects in ancient Egypt, knowing that careful planning and dedicated effort can create monuments that transcend mortal limitations while preserving cultural achievements for countless future generations to admire and study. The Master Samurai Swordsmith, Forger of Steel Souls, Feudal Japan. Picture yourself in the sacred forge of Master Miyamoto Yoshitsune, nestled in the mountains of Yamashita, where the rhythmic hammering of Tamahagane steel echoes through morning mist as ancient techniques transform iron, sand, and charcoal into katana blades that will serve noble samurai in their quest for honor, duty, and spiritual perfection through the way of the sword. The swordsmith's workshop occupies a secluded mountain location where pure water flows from sacred springs, while charcoal burns in traditional Tatara furnaces that smelt iron ore, according to techniques passed down through generations of master smiths serving the warrior class with blades that embody both martial effectiveness and spiritual significance. Master Yoshitsune represents the culmination of Japanese sword-making tradition, combining technical mastery with spiritual discipline that creates blades, possessing both cutting ability and aesthetic beauty that reflect the samurai ideals of honor, courage, and devotion to duty above personal concerns or material gain. Young apprentice Takeshi purifies himself through ritual ablutions before entering the sacred forge, where spiritual preparation ensures proper mental state for handling the mysterious processes that transform base metal into weapons capable of channeling the warrior's spirit during combat and meditation. The sword is the soul of the samurai, Yoshitsune explains while examining steel samples for carbon content and grain structure. We forge not merely weapons but spiritual partners that will guide warriors through life's challenges while maintaining honor and preserving peace through strength and wisdom. The current commission requires creating a katana for young Lord Minamoto, who will receive his adult name and begin formal samurai training that demands a blade worthy of his noble lineage, while embodying the spiritual qualities necessary for true mastery of the warrior's path. Takeshi learns that Japanese swordmaking begins with spiritual purification, rituals that prepare smith and forge for the sacred work of blade creation while invoking divine blessing for the transformation process that must honor both technical excellence and spiritual requirements governing warrior equipment. Iron sand selection requires understanding of raw material quality that determines final blade characteristics through careful evaluation of ore sources and smelting techniques that produce Tamahagan steel with optimal carbon distribution and freedom from impurities that could compromise blade integrity. Smelting procedures utilize traditional Tatara furnaces that burn for 72 hours, while master smiths monitor temperature and atmospheric conditions that affect steel quality through complex chemical reactions, requiring precise timing and temperature control throughout the extended smelting process. Steel selection involves breaking apart Tamahagan masses to examine carbon content and quality variations that determine suitability for different blade components, including hard cutting edges and softer spine materials that provide flexibility and shock absorption during combat use. Forge welding techniques combine different steel types through careful heating and hammering that creates composite blade structures with optimal cutting ability and durability while maintaining proper balance and handling characteristics that enable effective combat techniques. Folding methods multiply steel layers through repeated heating, folding, and welding cycles that homogenize carbon distribution while creating grain patterns that enhance both blade strength and aesthetic beauty through complex geometric designs visible in finished blades. Shaping processes gradually transform steel billets into recognizable sword forms through controlled hammering that maintains proper geometry while preserving metallurgical structure, necessary for heat treatment procedures that will develop final blade characteristics and cutting ability. Heat treatment requires precise temperature control during heating and cooling, cycles that develop blade hardness and flexibility through complex metallurgical transformations that determine final performance, characteristics and durability throughout years of samurai service. Differential hardening creates the distinctive Hamen line that separates hard cutting edge from softer spine through controlled cooling techniques that produce blades with optimal cutting ability while maintaining resilience that prevents catastrophic failure during combat stress. Polishing procedures gradually refine blade surfaces through increasingly fine abrasives that reveal grain structure and hem-on patterns, while creating mirror finishes that demonstrate smith's skill and enhance blade beauty, according to aesthetic principles governing samurai sword appreciation. Testing methods verify blade performance through cutting tests on various materials that demonstrate sharpness, durability, and balance while ensuring that completed weapons meet demanding samurai standards for combat effectiveness and spiritual appropriateness for warrior use. Spiritual consecration includes blessing ceremonies that dedicate completed blades to honorable service, while invoking divine protection for future owners who will carry these weapons throughout their samurai careers in service to lord and country. Mounting procedures coordinate with specialized craftsmen who create tsuba guards, handles, and scabbards that complement blade characteristics while providing complete weapon systems appropriate for specific samurai ranks and ceremonial requirements within feudal hierarchy. Religious observances honor Shinto kami and Buddhist principles that govern sword-making activities while maintaining spiritual purity, necessary for creating weapons that will serve noble purposes and embody warrior virtues throughout their service lives. Aesthetic principles balance functional requirements with visual beauty through proportions and surface treatments that create blades appreciated as art objects while maintaining cutting ability and handling characteristics that enable effective combat performance. Cultural preservation includes maintaining traditional techniques while training selected apprentices who will carry forward accumulated knowledge and ensure continuity of sword-making traditions that serve essential roles in samurai culture and Japanese martial heritage. Quality standards ensure that finished blades meet demanding samurai requirements through systematic testing and evaluation procedures that verify both technical excellence and spiritual appropriateness for warrior service in various combat and ceremonial contexts. Seasonal activities adapt to natural cycles affecting working conditions and material availability, while coordinating with agricultural and military calendars that influence demand for weapons and ceremonial equipment throughout the Japanese year of festivals and campaigns. Guild relationships maintain professional standards, while providing mutual support among swordsmiths who share technical knowledge and preserve traditional methods that ensure continued excellence in blade production, serving samurai requirements and cultural preservation needs. International comparison recognizes Japanese sword-making superiority over foreign weapons that lack the metallurgical sophistication and spiritual dimensions that make Japanese blades superior to inferior foreign weapons, lacking proper technical development and cultural significance. Innovation within tradition allows gradual improvement of sword-making techniques while maintaining essential characteristics that preserve spiritual effectiveness and martial utility of blades, serving established functions within conservative samurai cultural traditions, emphasizing honor and duty. Economic considerations balance material costs and labor investment with blade value and social importance, while ensuring adequate compensation for skilled smiths whose expertise represents substantial cultural capital benefiting Japanese society through superior weapons and cultural preservation. As evening mist rises from mountain valleys, Master Yoshitsune and Takeshi complete their daily purification rituals, while banking forge fires that will provide proper temperature for tomorrow's continuation of sacred work, creating weapons for noble samurai service. The workshop rests in peaceful quiet as night settles over the mountains, while blades in various stages of completion await further work that will transform steel into spiritual partners for warriors dedicated to honor, duty, and protection of Japanese cultural values. Let these images of sacred sword-making carry you toward peaceful rest, imagining the rhythmic hammering of steel and the satisfaction of creating weapons that embody both martial effectiveness and spiritual significance through patient craftsmanship, serving noble purposes. Sleep peacefully now, like swordsmiths in mountain forges long ago, knowing that dedicated skill and spiritual devotion can transform simple metal into treasures that serve honor and preserve cultural traditions through generations of warrior service. The Master Glassblower, shaper of crystal light, medieval Venice. Picture yourself walking across the misty canals to the island of Murano, where Master Glassblower, Angelo di Cristallo, tends roaring furnaces that transform sand into molten crystal, while apprentices learn the jealously guarded secrets that make Venetian glass the most prized luxury in medieval Europe. Coveted by kings and emperors throughout Christendom, the glassworks occupy the entire island of Murano, where centuries of innovation have created techniques that produce glass of unprecedented clarity and beauty. Massive furnaces burn day and night, while master craftsmen work molten glass with tools and methods that represent the pinnacle of medieval technological achievement and artistic sophistication. Master Angelo represents the finest tradition of Venetian glassmaking, combining technical mastery inherited from Byzantine craftsmen with innovations that create new forms and decorative techniques, impossible to achieve through any other means. His reputation extends throughout Europe as creator of glass treasures that grace royal tables and cathedral altars. Young apprentice Lorenzo observes every movement, while learning to read the color changes in molten glass that indicate optimal working temperature and consistency. His hands already show burn scars from learning to handle red-hot glass while developing the coordination necessary for advanced glassworking techniques. Glass is frozen fire, Angelo explains while gathering molten material on a blowpipe. We must work quickly while it remains workable, shaping it through breath and movement before it cools beyond our control. Each piece teaches patience while demanding split-second timing and perfect coordination. The current commission involves creating a complete table service for the Doge's palace, requiring glass of exceptional quality and artistic sophistication that will demonstrate Venetian superiority while impressing foreign dignitaries visiting the Republic seeking trade agreements and diplomatic relationships. Lorenzo learns that Venetian glassmaking begins with careful raw material selection, including pure sand from specific sources and plant ash that creates the alkali necessary for proper glass formation. Each ingredient must meet exacting standards that ensure final product quality and consistency. Furnace management requires understanding of fire behavior and temperature control that maintains optimal working conditions throughout extended glassmaking sessions. Different glass types require specific thermal conditions that master craftsmen maintain through careful fuel management and air control. Glass formula preparation involves mixing raw materials in precise proportions that create different glass types with varying characteristics, suitable for specific applications, from drinking vessels through window glass to decorative objects, requiring particular working properties and aesthetic qualities. Gathering techniques collect molten glass on metal tools, while maintaining proper temperature and consistency that enables successful shaping procedures. The amount and distribution of glass gathered determines the final piece's characteristics and influences subsequent forming operations. Blowing methods utilize controlled air pressure to inflate gathered glass into hollow forms that serve as foundations for various vessel types. Lung capacity and breathing control become essential skills that enable creation of thin-walled pieces with proper proportions and wall thickness. Shaping procedures transform blown forms through reheating and manipulation that create final vessel contours while maintaining structural integrity necessary for functional use. Tools enable precise control over glass movement while preventing stress concentrations that could cause cracking during cooling. Color application involves incorporating metallic compounds and rare earth elements that create brilliant hues impossible to achieve through other decorative techniques. Different colors require specific furnace conditions and timing that master glassmakers coordinate through years of experience. Decorative techniques include threading, millefiori, and gilt applications that create surface ornaments, demonstrating artistic skill while enhancing functional vessels with beauty that justifies premium prices commanded by Venetian glass throughout European markets. Annealing procedures control cooling rates that relieve internal stress while preventing cracking or structural failure that would render finished pieces worthless. Proper annealing requires precise temperature schedules that extend over hours or days, depending on glass thickness and composition. Quality assessment includes testing finished pieces for structural integrity, visual appeal, and functional effectiveness while maintaining reputation for excellence that ensures continued demand from wealthy customers throughout Europe seeking superior glass products. Trade secrets protect Venetian competitive advantages through guild regulations that restrict knowledge sharing while ensuring that technical innovations remain within Venetian control to maintain market dominance and economic benefits that support the Republic's prosperity. International demand creates opportunities for expanding Venetian influence while generating wealth that supports the Republic's political and military activities. Throughout the Mediterranean region, glass exports establish trade relationships while demonstrating Venetian technological superiority. Workshop organization enables multiple production lines operating simultaneously while maintaining quality standards and protecting trade secrets that ensure continued Venetian dominance in luxury glass markets throughout Europe and the Byzantine Empire. Guild membership provides professional recognition and protection, while maintaining standards that preserve Venetian glass reputation and prevent inferior products from damaging market confidence in Venetian glass quality and artistic excellence. Innovation drives continuous advancement in glassmaking techniques through experimentation with new materials, decorative methods, and forming techniques that maintain Venetian leadership in glass technology, while expanding artistic possibilities and market opportunities. Apprenticeship training follows strict progression that gradually increases responsibility, while building both technical skills and artistic sensibility necessary for maintaining Venetian glass traditions and contributing to continued innovation and excellence. Cultural significance extends beyond practical utility, as Venetian glass becomes symbols of wealth, sophistication, and artistic appreciation that enhance social status, while demonstrating cultural refinement and connection to Venetian artistic achievements. Economic impact includes employment for thousands of workers and support industries while generating export revenues that strengthen Venetian economy and provide resources for political and military activities that maintain the Republic's independence and prosperity. Religious applications include creation of liturgical vessels and decorative elements for churches throughout Europe, where Venetian glass enhances religious ceremonies while demonstrating divine beauty through human artistic achievement, guided by spiritual inspiration. Royal patronage provides prestigious commissions while establishing political relationships that benefit Venetian diplomatic interests through demonstration of republic wealth and technological capabilities that impress foreign rulers seeking alliance and trade agreements. Technical advancement includes experimentation with new glass compositions, forming techniques, and decorative applications that might enhance product appeal while maintaining quality standards that preserve Venetian reputation for excellence in glass production. Environmental considerations include fuel management and waste reduction that ensures sustainable operations while maintaining production capacity necessary for meeting market demand and preserving economic benefits that glass production provides to Venetian society. As evening light reflects off countless glass pieces cooling in the annealing ovens, Master Angelo and Lorenzo complete their daily work while planning tomorrow's production schedule that will advance current commissions toward completion deadlines for wealthy customers throughout Europe. The island settles into peaceful quiet as night falls over Murano, while furnaces continue their eternal burning that enables glass production to continue through centuries of Venetian innovation and artistic achievement that maintains the Republic's reputation for excellence. Let these images of glassmaking artistry carry you toward peaceful rest, imagining the glowing furnaces and the satisfaction of creating crystal treasures that transform simple sand into objects of beauty through skilled craftsmanship and artistic vision. Sleep peacefully now, like glassmakers on Murano long ago, knowing that patient skill and innovative spirit can create beautiful objects that enhance human life while preserving cultural traditions and artistic excellence for future generations. The Master Weaver, creator of royal tapestries, medieval Flanders. Picture yourself in the great weaving halls of Bruges, where Master Weaver Margaretha van der Meer oversees dozens of skilled artisans, creating magnificent tapestries that will adorn royal courts throughout Europe, while colored threads transform into narrative pictures that preserve heroic tales and religious stories for noble patrons who value artistic excellence above material wealth. The workshop occupies an entire guild quarter, where the sound of looms creates a rhythmic symphony throughout daylight hours. Hundreds of workers contribute specialized skills to create textiles that represent the pinnacle of medieval artistic achievement, while generating wealth that makes Flanders prosperous and politically influential throughout European commerce. Master Margaretha represents generations of weaving knowledge combined with innovative artistic vision that creates tapestries surpassing all previous achievements in technical sophistication and narrative complexity. Her reputation attracts commissions from royal courts seeking luxury textiles that demonstrate cultural refinement and political power. Young apprentice Peter studies cartoon designs while learning to translate artistic vision into woven reality through careful thread selection and weaving techniques that require years to master fully. His developing skills represent investment in future generations of Flemish weavers who will maintain cultural traditions and economic prosperity. We weave stories into permanence. Margareta explains, while examining thread samples for color consistency. Each tapestry preserves important tales while providing beauty that enhances daily life for those fortunate enough to possess these. Treasures that combine utility with artistic excellence through patient craftsmanship. The current project involves creating a series depicting the Crusades for the French royal court, requiring historical accuracy and artistic sophistication that will satisfy educated noble audiences while demonstrating Flemish cultural achievements and maintaining reputation for excellence in luxury textile production. Peter learns that Flemish weaving begins with careful wool selection from English sheep, whose fleece provides superior fiber quality through optimal breeding and feeding programs that produce raw materials worthy of transformation into luxury textiles commanding premium prices throughout European markets. Yarn preparation includes sorting, cleaning, and spinning processes that create threads with consistent quality and appropriate characteristics for different tapestry applications. Skilled spinners coordinate their work with dyers and weavers to ensure adequate supplies of properly prepared materials throughout production cycles. Dyeing procedures utilize rare and expensive pigments that create brilliant colors resistant to fading while providing the chromatic range necessary for realistic representation of complex scenes and decorative elements that distinguish Flemish tapestries from inferior foreign products. Design development requires collaboration between artists and weavers who translate painted cartoons into textile format while maintaining artistic integrity and adapting visual elements to weaving constraints that influence final tapestry appearance and narrative effectiveness. Loom preparation involves setting up warp threads according to precise specifications that determine final tapestry dimensions and structural characteristics while enabling efficient weaving operations. Throughout extended production periods that may extend for months or years, weaving techniques vary according to design, complexity, and intended effects, with different methods creating various textures and visual qualities that enhance narrative elements, while demonstrating weaver skill and artistic sensitivity through subtle technical variations and innovations. Color management ensures consistent hue, matching, and gradual transitions that create realistic shading and atmospheric effects impossible to achieve through simpler decorative techniques. Master weavers coordinate dye lots while maintaining color relationships throughout complex narrative compositions. Figure work requires exceptional skill in creating convincing human and animal representations through textile techniques that translate three-dimensional forms into flat weaving while maintaining proportional relationships and anatomical accuracy that satisfy educated viewers familiar with artistic standards. Landscape backgrounds utilize perspective techniques and atmospheric effects that create illusions of depth and distance while providing appropriate settings for narrative action. These sophisticated visual effects demonstrate advanced artistic understanding and technical mastery of weaving possibilities. Border design complements central narrative elements while providing decorative frameworks that enhance overall composition through integrated ornamental programs that demonstrate artistic planning and coordination between different design elements and symbolic programs. Quality control includes systematic inspection at every production stage to ensure compliance with artistic and technical standards while preventing errors that could compromise finished tapestry value or artistic effectiveness through careful monitoring and correction procedures. Commission management coordinates multiple concurrent projects while maintaining production schedules and quality standards that ensure timely delivery of finished works that meet patron expectations and preserve workshop reputation for reliability and excellence. International marketing establishes relationships with noble courts throughout Europe while maintaining competitive advantages that preserve Flemish dominance in luxury textile markets. Through superior quality and artistic sophistication that foreign competitors cannot match. guild regulations, maintain production standards while protecting trade secrets and ensuring fair competition among Flemish workshops that collaborate to preserve regional advantages, while competing for prestigious commissions from wealthy patrons throughout European nobility. Cultural preservation includes maintaining traditional techniques while encouraging innovation that advances artistic capabilities without abandoning proven methods that ensure continued excellence in market. Leadership in luxury textile production, serving elite European customers. Apprenticeship programs preserve weaving knowledge, while providing trained workforce for expanding production that meets growing demand for Flemish tapestries throughout European markets. Seeking luxury goods that demonstrate cultural sophistication and economic prosperity. Economic impact includes employment for thousands of workers and support industries while generating export revenues that strengthen Flemish economy and provide resources for political independence and cultural advancement that benefit regional society and European civilization. Artistic collaboration with painters, designers, and other craftsmen creates integrated production systems that combine diverse skills and knowledge, while maintaining artistic coherence and technical excellence that distinguished Flemish tapestries from inferior foreign attempts at imitation. Religious themes provide subject matter for many commissions, while enabling artistic exploration of spiritual topics that satisfy both aesthetic and devotional purposes for noble patrons, seeking beautiful objects that enhance prayer and contemplation within luxurious domestic environments. Seasonal production cycles coordinate with agricultural and commercial calendars, while adapting to weather conditions that affect working environments and material availability. Throughout extended production periods that require careful planning and resource management, innovation includes experimentation with new materials, techniques, and artistic approaches that might enhance tapestry appeal while maintaining quality standards that preserve Flemish reputation for excellence and ensure continued market leadership in luxury textile production. As evening light fades across the workshop floors, Master Margareta and Peter secure their work while planning tomorrow's activities that will advance current commissions toward completion deadlines for noble patrons eager to receive their commissioned tapestries. The weaving halls settle into quiet rest as night falls over Bruges, while partially completed tapestries await continued work that will transform colored threads into narrative masterpieces that preserve cultural heritage while providing beauty for future generations. Let these images of tapestry creation carry you toward peaceful rest, imagining the rhythmic sounds of weaving and the satisfaction of creating textile art that combines technical mastery with storytelling. Through patient craftsmanship serving cultural preservation, sleep peacefully now, like weavers in Flemish workshops long ago, knowing that dedicated skill and artistic vision can transform simple threads into magnificent tapestries that preserve important stories while enhancing human life with beauty and meaning. The Master Astronomer, reader of celestial wisdom, Islamic Golden Age. Picture yourself in the House of Wisdom in Baghdad, where Master Astronomer Al-Kandi observes celestial movements through carefully crafted instruments while translating Greek astronomical texts into Arabic, preserving ancient knowledge while advancing human understanding of cosmic order through mathematical precision and observational accuracy that surpasses all previous achievements. The observatory occupies the highest tower of the scholarly complex, where instruments designed according to precise mathematical principles enable accurate measurement of stellar positions and planetary movements that guide calendar calculations and astrological predictions, serving both practical and spiritual purposes for Islamic civilization. Master Al-Kandi represents the synthesis of Greek, Persian, and Indian astronomical traditions, combined with Islamic scholarly methods that create new approaches to understanding celestial phenomena through systematic observation and mathematical analysis that advances human knowledge beyond previous limitations. Young student Ahmad Ibn Mohammed studies star charts while learning to use sophisticated instruments that measure angular distances and track celestial movements with unprecedented precision. His mathematical training enables understanding of geometric principles, underlying astronomical calculations, and observational techniques. The heavens declare divine order through mathematical harmony, Alkindi explains, while adjusting an astrolabe for evening observations. We study celestial movements to understand God's creation, while developing practical knowledge that serves human needs for accurate timekeeping, navigation, and agricultural planning throughout Islamic lands. The current project involves creating improved star catalogs based on original observations that correct errors in ancient Greek sources, while extending astronomical knowledge through systematic study of celestial phenomena using superior instruments and mathematical techniques developed through Islamic scholarly innovation. Ahmad learns that Islamic astronomy begins with mastery of mathematical principles, including trigonometry and geometric analysis that enable precise calculations of celestial positions and movements, while providing theoretical foundations for understanding cosmic structure and divine creation through natural philosophy. Instrument construction requires understanding of mechanical principles and mathematical relationships that enable creation of devices capable of accurate measurement and calculation. Skilled craftsmen work under astronomical supervision to produce instruments meeting demanding scientific requirements. Observational techniques utilize systematic procedures that minimize errors, while maximizing accuracy through careful timing and measurement. Protocols that enable reliable data collection for mathematical analysis and theoretical development, advancing astronomical knowledge and practical applications. Calendar calculations coordinate lunar and solar cycles for religious and civil purposes, while ensuring accurate timing of Islamic festivals and agricultural activities. Throughout diverse climatic regions where Muslim communities require reliable temporal coordination for social and economic organization. Translation projects preserve and transmit ancient astronomical knowledge while enabling critical evaluation and improvement of inherited texts through comparison with original observations and mathematical analysis that identifies errors and advances understanding beyond previous achievements. Mathematical innovation includes development of trigonometric functions and algebraic methods that enable more sophisticated astronomical calculations, while providing tools for solving practical problems in navigation, surveying, and architectural design throughout Islamic civilization. Star catalog compilation requires systematic observation and careful recording of stellar positions with coordinates, calculated according to mathematical principles that enable accurate prediction of celestial movements and reliable navigation. For traders and travelers throughout Islamic territories, planetary theory development involves creating mathematical models that explain observed movements while predicting future positions, through geometric and algebraic analysis that improves upon ancient Greek theories through superior observational data and mathematical sophistication. Timekeeping applications include designing clock mechanisms and calculating prayer times with accuracy that serves religious requirements throughout Islamic communities, where precise timing enables proper observance of daily prayers and seasonal festivals according to divine commandments. Navigation techniques utilize astronomical observations for determining position and direction during land and sea travel throughout vast Islamic territories, where accurate geographic knowledge enables safe passage and commercial success in challenging environmental conditions. Agricultural applications include determining optimal planting and harvesting times through calendar calculations that coordinate farming activities with seasonal changes and climatic patterns, while maximizing crop yields and ensuring food security throughout Islamic regions. Medical applications utilize astrological principles for diagnostic and therapeutic purposes, while maintaining scientific rigor that distinguishes legitimate astronomical knowledge from popular superstition and ensures medical practice remains grounded in rational observation and analysis. Educational programs preserve and transmit astronomical knowledge through systematic instruction that combines theoretical understanding with practical skills while preparing future scholars to continue advancing scientific knowledge and serving community needs throughout Islamic civilization. International exchange includes correspondence with scholars throughout the Islamic world and beyond, while maintaining libraries that preserve astronomical knowledge and enable comparative studies that advance understanding through collaborative research and knowledge sharing. Religious integration coordinates astronomical knowledge with Islamic theology, while demonstrating divine wisdom manifest in cosmic order and mathematical harmony that reveals God's creation through natural phenomena accessible to human reason and observation. Cultural preservation includes maintaining and improving upon inherited astronomical traditions while developing distinctively Islamic approaches that advance scientific knowledge while serving religious and practical needs of Muslim communities throughout diverse geographic and cultural regions. Quality control ensures accuracy in calculations and observations through systematic verification procedures that identify and correct errors while maintaining scientific standards that preserve reliability and usefulness of astronomical knowledge for practical and theoretical applications. Innovation drives continuous advancement in astronomical techniques and instruments, while preserving essential knowledge and maintaining connection to established traditions that provide foundations for continued scientific progress, serving Islamic civilization and human knowledge generally. Economic applications include improving commercial navigation and agricultural planning, while providing accurate calendar calculations that facilitate trade and administrative activities throughout Islamic territories where economic prosperity depends partly on reliable temporal and spatial coordination. Philosophical implications of astronomical knowledge include understanding cosmic order and divine creation through mathematical harmony and natural law that demonstrate God's wisdom, while providing rational foundations for natural philosophy and scientific investigation. As midnight approaches and stars reach optimal viewing positions, Master Al-Kindi and Ahmed complete their observational session while recording measurements that will contribute to improved star catalogs and mathematical models that advance astronomical knowledge. The observatory settles into peaceful quiet as dawn approaches over Baghdad, while astronomical instruments await the next night's observations that will continue the eternal human quest to understand cosmic order and divine creation through patient study and mathematical analysis. Let these images of astronomical observation carry you toward peaceful rest. Imagining the quiet concentration of scholars studying celestial movements and the satisfaction of advancing human knowledge through careful observation and mathematical precision. Sleep peacefully now, like astronomers in ancient observatories, knowing that patient study and mathematical rigor can unlock cosmic mysteries while advancing human understanding of divine creation and natural order that governs all existence.